My guest today is Toby Mildon. Toby started his career in project management in the world of technology, but has since moved into the world of diversity and inclusion, formerly with the BBC and more recently working in professional services. Going to talk to us today about being a polisher. Toby, you completed the GC Index, and your profile suggests a very strong polisher proclivity. Just give us your insights, starting wherever.
I think one of the first learnings I had once I found out that I was a strong polisher was the need for continuous improvement, and it suddenly clicked why I had been drawn to particular roles throughout my career. One of my biggest bugbears is when somebody says, well, that's how we've always done it around here, and they don't want to change.
Oh, yes.
That's a big red flag for me.
Is it that you have an eye for possible improvements? Is that how it works for you, that you just see an opportunity to make something better? What's that like?
Yeah, I have that inclination. So an example would be I'm much happier taking a report, for example, or an article and editing it rather than creating something from scratch. So I'd rather take a piece of work that somebody else has done and try and tweak it and improve it and polish it, than actually create something completely fresh myself. Perfectionism is something I've had to learn as well, but and again, I mean, this is actually something that comes through from agile project management, is knowing when something is good enough, that you don't have to have something 100% complete for it to be useful. I have a tendency to try and make sure that everything is checked off the list, that I've exhausted the internet before I can submit a piece of work.
Yes. I think the other theme that's sort of inherent in that perfectionist nature is something about being demanding of self, demanding of others, maybe even self-critical. Is that your nature?
Yeah, I am quite self-critical. I would say that I'm probably not critical of others, but I do have an internal dialogue if somebody produces a piece of work that I don't think is good enough.
The theme in here is having standards that you expect yourself to live up to, and possibly you expect others to live up to.
There's actually an emphasis on coaching people. My expectations of what I believe the product should be, but also helping them be the best that they can be. I would say that the coaching skills that I've developed have been very much learned, but they have served me really well and have helped me be a more effective polisher.
Yes. It's interesting. So here you are with a very strong polisher profile, and just to remind you, the rest of the GC Index framework, the implementers who are happy with good enough, and the strategists who see direction and bring focus to action, and the radical game changers with ideas and creativity and playmakers. In terms of who you come to think, actually, I need these folk around me because they complement my skill set. You could probably reference all of them, but give us a sense of how that works for you. Who you think, I need one of those in order to achieve what I want to achieve.
I've worked really well with game changers because I actually feel energized working with them because they have ideas and they have a sense of direction. They gain benefit from me because I can take their ideas and kind of shape them and polish them.
Yes.
Similarly, I work really well with implementers because we're both task orientated, but they've got a much more they have a different skill set that seems to complement the work that I do. Yeah,
and they might turn to you and say, stop it, that's good enough.
Exactly.
What you were saying earlier.
And I quite value that feedback, people telling me just to stop, it's good enough, it'll do.
Yes, So you see the opportunity for the continuous improvement bit, pursuit of excellence, how will we frame it? But you recognise using others to do the selling of that. It is a powerful combination.
and the other thing at the time was understanding where my key stakeholders fitted into the big picture as well. So I was a polisher, but my key stakeholder was an implementer. So talking to her in implementer type language was beneficial rather than trying to talk to her in game changer language. And sometimes you can't choose who you're working with.
No.
But understanding what their profile is really does help, because then I can adapt my style to what their style is, or understand where they're coming from and how I flex myself so that we get a better working arrangement between us.